In this video, I'm about to reveal to you 4 things that will make this man regret leaving you. None of them are what you think. Do them just once and watch him regret everything. But before we dive into the first one, let me take you back a little bit. See, you've probably been trying to make him regret it. The posts you put on your social medias, the captions, the new look, the going out, the making sure mutual friends mention how well you're doing. All of it, consciously or not, pointed in one direction. Make him see what he lost. And it hasn't worked. And if it has, it worked for some time, a brief reappearance, some breadcrumbs, and then silence again. Here is why. Everything you've been doing to make him regret leaving you is the exact opposite of what actually triggers regret in a male brain. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 4 things that genuinely make an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband regret leaving you. And I promise you, not one of them is on the list of the things you've been trying. Here is what every other video tells you to do to make him regret it. Blow up, post your best life, make him jealous, make him see what he's missing. But here is the psychological problem with all those tactics. They are performed for him. It's a performance and he knows it. See, men are not as emotionally oblivious as some women think. He can tell the difference between a woman who is genuinely enjoying her life and a woman who's just performing. I'm sorry to bring you bad news, but performance, it doesn't trigger regret. It triggers relief because he knows you're faking it. A woman who is visibly trying to make him regret it is a woman who is constantly thinking about him, still affected by him, still giving him the most valuable thing he can ever get from you, which is your attention. And as long as he still has your attention, he has lost nothing. Because real regret only comes from these 4 things that I'm about to talk about. The first one is the silence that feels permanent. And I need to be very precise about the word permanent, because this is where the no contact advice completely missed the point. Most women do silence as a tactic, a countdown, a 30-day period with an end date they already know about. And men, at some levels, they can feel that the tactical silence is just temporary. It doesn't feel like you've moved on. It feels like waiting. And waiting is another form of contact. The silence that triggers regret is a different kind. It's the silence that carries no end date, no strategy, no performance. It's the silence of a woman who has genuinely redirected her attention, not as a move in a game, but as a real internal decision that this is no longer her focus. Well, here is how you know the difference between tactical silence and permanent silence. Tactical silence feels like holding your breath, and permanent silence feels like exhaling, breathing. Now, that exhale is what he feels across the city, not the holding of breath. And here is why permanent silence specifically triggers regret rather than just discomfort. It raises the one question his ego cannot survive unanswered. Is she actually done? Because if she is done, if the door is genuinely closing, then what he walked away from wasn't something he could get back whenever he was ready. It was something he lost. And loss, real permanent loss, is the only emotion that triggers regret. And that is going to take us to the second thing that is going to make him regret. You have to stop needing his validation. And this is the trigger that is the most invisible from the outside, which makes it the most powerful. Here is what needing his validation looks like after the breakup. Checking if he watched your story on Instagram, measuring how long it took him to reply to something casual, feeling better on days a mutual friend mentions that he asked about you, and feeling low on days that you don't get any signal. Every single one of those behaviors, however private, it keeps him at the center of your emotional world. And here is what that centrality does psychologically. It keeps you available. And available people are not missed. We miss things that are no longer accessible to us. Things that have moved to a place we can't reach. You cannot miss someone who is still checking whether you notice them, right? The actual moment that plants the seeds of regret is when he senses that you are no longer measuring your days against his responses. Not because you pretended to be independent, but because you found something you are measuring your days against. And that is a goal, a hobby, a project, a version of your daily life that doesn't have him at the center. Now, that shift, when it's real, he's definitely going to feel it. Not see it on social media, not hear it from a mutual friend. He's going to feel it in a specific way that people feel when you withdraw something that they took for granted. And felt things produces regret in a way that seen things can never replicate. Before we talk about the third thing that's going to make him regret, if you are learning something so far in this video, this is the time you give it a like and you subscribe to this channel, because every week there's 2 videos that I'm going to be uploading and you don't want to miss that. Now let's talk about the third thing that's going to make him regret. Become visibly interested in your own life. What does that mean? See, I need to draw a very specific distinction here, because this is the thing that gets most misunderstood. Visible interest in your own life is not posting the best photos. It's not going to events and documenting them. And it's definitely not showing the world how great your life is. That is performance. And we talked about it. Performance produces relief. It never produces regret. This is what I'm talking about. Visible interest in your own life. It's something quieter, something specific. It's re-engaging with the things that made you who you were before the relationship. The hobby you deprioritized. The friendship that you let drift. The goal that you put on hold. The version of you that existed independently, fully, completely unashamed before he became the center of your world. Here is what makes this different from performance. It is not directed at him. It doesn't require him to see it. It produces the same result whether he finds out or not. And the fact that it's real rather than performed is exactly what makes it register differently when he does encounter the evidence of it. Because when you post something that you actually love, not performed for him, something you really love, he feels the difference. When mutual friends mention you, not because you engineered the mention, but because you are genuinely doing something worth mentioning, he feels the difference. The difference is the absence of him in your story, not as a painful absence, a natural one. You are not telling a story about moving on from him. You are telling a story that simply doesn't include him. And that story, when told authentically without performance, is the most regret-producing thing you can ever create, because it answers his question with a reality rather than a performance. Oh, she's not trying to be okay without me. She just is. And that is going to take us to the fourth thing that's going to make him regret. Never give him the reaction he expected. And this is the thing that ties everything else together. Every man who lives a relationship or creates distance, he has a script in his mind. He knows approximately how it's going to go. He expects a certain level of pursuing, a certain amount of emotional contact, desperation. Now, the script is not malicious. It's not calculated in most cases. It's just what his nervous system is prepared for based on everything he knows about how you feel about him. And the moment that script fails, everything changes. When you don't pursue him, or when you stop pursuing him, the script cracks. When you don't break the silence as he expected, the script cracks further. When the mutual friends report back that you seem genuinely okay, the script breaks even more. And when he checks your profile and he finds evidence of a life that doesn't seem to be waiting, his script collapses entirely. And when the script collapses, the questions begin. Did I read this wrong? Did I mean less than I thought I did? Is it actually possible that she is okay? And those questions are the beginning of a serious regret. Not the emotional, dramatic regret we see in the movies. I'm talking about the quiet 2 a.m. lying in the dark regret of a man who just realized the story he told himself about how this would go was wrong. And a man who realizes that his story was wrong he starts writing a different one where he reconsiders, one where he reaches out. He notices what he actually lost. And none of this comes from the best post you're going to put on your social media. None of it comes from making him jealous. All of it comes from you being so genuinely absorbed in your own story to the point that his script has nothing to work with. That is the fourth thing. That's the one that ties everything together. If you still genuinely love this man and you want to get him back, but you don't know how to do it, I will guide you exactly how to reattract him back over time without embarrassing yourself, without losing your dignity. Check the link below in the description. It's going to take you exactly to where I'm going to help you at. And if you loved this video, then you have to watch this next video because it's going to teach you exactly things you have to do to reattract him back without begging and losing yourself. Go ahead and watch this video. I promise you, you are going to love it. Remember to subscribe, and I hope I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye for now.